He engaged Senator Paul in debate during today's filibuster. He's a member of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. Senator Wyden, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me again.
So the talking filibuster is not much used anymore. We still have to show footage of fiction of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington in order to give people the idea. Did this debate about congressional oversight and transparency on drones, did it get better today by use of this tactic?
I think the American people certainly know more about the fundamental question, which is we have to strike a better balance, Rachel, between protecting our security and protecting our liberty. I've just come off a 2-year effort, made 7 separate requests to get the Obama administration to release these previously secret legal analyses which offer the justification for the drone strikes. And this debate is just beginning, and the reason I went to the floor today is I thought it was an opportune time to try to show that there is a new effort by both progressives and conservatives to try to show that in our country it's possible both to protect our liberties and at the same time ensure that we're vigilant against the very real threats that are out there.
It seems like the occasion of John Brennan's nomination has brought about a bunch of stuff that we now know, or at least that you know as a senator, that we were not able to know before. We saw first, reported by NBC's Michael Isikoff, a summary of legal reasoning by the administration on killing Americans abroad with the drone program. We also then saw released to the Intelligence Committee a couple of Office of Legal Counsel memos on the same subject, then more memos on the same subject released to the Intelligence Committee. It seems like things are going in the direction that you want, but how much further do you think the administration should go in terms of making information available? And do you think it should be limited to these disclosures about killing Americans, or do you think it should be about killing anybody using this program?
Well, first of all, I think there does need to be more information made available, and I think it can be done consistent with national security about drones. And I am going to make a concerted effort to declassify more of that information in the days ahead. This debate, Rachel, is just beginning. The fact is, the very nature of warfare is changing so dramatically. We have just begun the discussion, and certainly now it's time to bring the public into this. The members of the Intelligence Committee have just gotten access to the documents. People have asked, am I satisfied with that? Of course not. I'm going to have additional follow-up questions probably next week on some of the issues, and some of that will be public, some of it will have to be classified, but this debate has really just begun.
I know that you engaged Senator Paul today in debate as he held the floor. I was careful to say it that way because, as far as I understand it, you are not participating in the filibuster of John Brennan's nomination. You do believe that he should get an up or down vote. You do not want it delayed. Is that accurate?
I already voted for Mr. Brennan in the Intelligence Committee. I've announced that I'm going to vote for him on the floor. There were parts of his nomination hearing that I was quite encouraged by. I liked the fact that he wanted to make clear that if mistakes were made with respect to drones, that ought to be made public. At the same time, I was concerned about the fact it was hard to get information from him about the countries where lethal force was used. But we have made some progress. I think now we ought to be trying to build on it.
When, I should say, if and when John Brennan is confirmed for the CIA, when he does get his full floor vote in the Senate, and it's expected that he will be confirmed for this position, what do you think will be the next point of leverage, or what do you think will be the next occasion for which to continue to press the administration for the kind of transparency that you want? Attorney General Eric Holder says we should expect to hear the president himself discuss these matters. Do you feel like the administration is in the mood to continue to disclose further information, or do they need to be pushed with a nomination like this on the line the way they have over the Brennan situation?
The president has told me, Rachel, personally, and I've talked to him twice on this, that he's committed to a more fulsome airing, let us say, about these kinds of issues. And I think that is so important. We have to protect what's called the operations and methods in the intelligence community, but the law itself should not be kept secret, and it's this fight against secret law that has been so important. It shouldn't have taken 7 requests. That's how many I made, Rachel, over a 2-year period to get this kind of information. Now, I will tell you, just in the last few days, the letter from Mr. Brennan was quite forthright on the question of making sure that he didn't believe the CIA could use drones in the United States. The letter from Mr. Holder, while moving in the right direction, he in effect said he could only see using the military against what would amount to a foreign attack in the United States like Pearl Harbor. There still are some unanswered questions there. That's what we're going to have to keep digging into. And I think you saw today those efforts will be bipartisan.
Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon, that distinction that you're making there, the difference between secret operations and secret law, is one that, for all these different ways of resistance, I believe is really starting to sink in the way people talk about that, in a way that I think is mostly attributable to you, sir. So thank you for advancing our discourse on that. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.